story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening, welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I'm Gift Ogete. Nambejo story. President Goodluck Jonathan denies speaking with King Mohammed VI of Morocco as diplomatic role with North African Kingdom regions. Also in this program, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC says the collection rate of the permanent voter cards has risen to 81.22% nationwide. Fire at Mile 12 Market in Lagos claims 3 lives. Outside Nigeria, major world powers have begun a consultation aimed at lifting the sanctions imposed on Iran for its nuclear program. Good to have you stay on with us. Now details of the headlines and other stories. President Goodluck Jonathan says he has neither spoken with King Mohammed or told anyone that he had a telephone conversation with the Moroccan monarch. He has consequently ordered an investigation into claims that led to a diplomatic row between the two countries. This, according to presidential spokesman Ruben Abati, is because his principal was embarrassed by the controversy that erupted over whether or not he spoke on the phone with the king. He said in a statement that the president has asked the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Aminu Wali, to investigate the misinformation from his ministry with a view to unveiling the culprits and their motive. Abatu said President Jonathan had been speaking with some African leaders to rally support for Nigeria's candidate for the position of President of the African Development Bank, AFDB. He noted that in continuation of efforts to drum up support for Minister of Agriculture, Akinwumi Additional, President Jonathan indicated interest in speaking with the King of Morocco, the President of Algeria, and that of Egypt. The presidential spokesman, however, noted that the president had not yet spoken with King Mohammed and President al-Sisi of Egypt, a position he said the foreign ministry shouldn't have been aware of. The All Progressives Congress has called on President Goodluck Jonathan to apologize to Nigerians for the embarrassment he has caused them over his phantom phone conversation with the King of Morocco. In a statement in Lagos on Friday, the National Publicity Secretary of APC, Lai Mohammed, said in our earlier statement on the issue, we gave President Jonathan the benefit of the doubt by asking him to clarify what happened, just as the Moroccan king has done. APC argued that based on the antecedents of the Jonathan administration, which it said had little or no regard for the truth, it is safe to assume that the president did not hold any phone conversation with King Mohammed VI of Morocco. He added that the party will be glad if Jonathan could prove conclusively that he spoke with the king. APC noted that while its earlier measured statement was born out of patriotism rather than partisanship, the president's increasingly rabid leading attack dog filtered away the opportunity to convince Nigerians that his principal did not just conjure up the idea of speaking with the king. APC said the global opprobrium which the Jonathan administration has brought on Nigeria can only be imagined with the likes of Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe firing darts at Nigeria, which played a frontline role in his country's independence and the militarized of less endowed neighboring countries, belittling Nigeria's military despite its globally acclaimed role in the maintenance of peace and security in the sub-region. As Nigerians were greeted with the endorsement of President Goodluck Jonathan by the national leadership of the Labour Party, the Ekiti State chapter of the party has disassociated itself from the endorsement. Speaking with some party chieftains in Ado-Ekiti, our correspondent Rashid finds out that most of the stalwarts and members of the party lay allegiance to Michael Okpeyemi Bamidele, the party's flag bearer at the June 21, 2014 governorship election in the state, who pitched their tent with the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari. Rashid has more in this report.
As the national leadership of Labour Party joins the array of political parties endorsing the candidature of President Goodluck Jonathan, members of the party in Ekiti State are holding a decent view to this endorsement. According to this party chieftain, Biodun Burishade, the Ekiti State chapter is not in the know of any endorsement.
Every politics is local. With regards to Labour Party in Ekiti State, as at yesterday, 12 midnight, Labour Party had not informed of such decision about endorsing anybody, any of the candidates. Notwithstanding, individuals will remain individuals.
But to these staunch members of the party, the national leadership's decision to endorse Goodluck Jonathan was dismissed as they pitched their tent with the candidature of Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress through their allegiance to the party leader in Ekiti State, Okpeyemi Bamidele.
Michael Okpeyemi Bamidele has said that we are going, the Labour Party in Ekiti State is going to vote, or going to support Buhari for the presidential candidate. But as to us, we are not alienating ourselves from the party structure at the state level.
What Okpeyemi Bamidele does, to me, I believe I can support his own side, because it's my leader.
Ekiti State being controlled by the PDP and with the endorsement of the PDP presidential candidate by the Labour Party, Aborishade speaks on what is to be possibly expected at the general polls in Ekiti State.
We have one leader, we speak with one voice. Honorable Okpeyemi Bamidele remains the Labour Party leader in Ekiti State. It will address us. Both APC and PDP will have the 25% that both parties, that the presidential candidates for both parties need. They will get it from Ekiti State. That I know.
With Ekiti Labour Party supporting Muhammadu Buhari, the March 28 poll will no doubt determine where the pendulum will swing. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, has appealed to Nigerians to salvage the future of the country from the failure of the People's Democratic Party's government by voting him and other candidates of the party in the coming general elections. Buhari made the appeal at a meeting with members of the National Association of Nigerian Students in Lagos. Abiola Luwole completes the story presented from our studios.
Students from across the southwestern part of the country converged in Lagos to interact with the APC presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. The students kick-started the meeting by asking Buhari what his government would do differently if elected into office. Before the response of Buhari to the questions of the student leaders, National Chairman of the APC, John Odigwe Oyegun, and other stalwarts of the party say the purpose of the meeting was to spread the gospel of change Nigerians are yearning for.
Today, we stand in judgment over 16 years of PDP in this room and 6 years of total backwards movement in every facet of our life. Have you decided to change that? Have you decided to change that?
If you agree that your country is not doing well and you want to change it, you know how momentous this opportunity is. I'm not sure if you are fully conscious of how big this moment is. It will be the first time that citizens of this country, in 54 years, 55 years, will be changing a government that they do not like by themselves.
Afterwards, Buhari says if elected into office, his administration will provide leadership that will tackle the menace of corruption, insecurity, and economic mismanagement, which, according to him, are the bane of the country's development.
Economy, the country is destroying. The security, the country is destroying. But we still have a nation state, which we, as Nigerians, are correct. And this is what 28th of March and 11th of April are all about. Nobody is going to accept. No Nigerian should accept the extension of the voting day.
As political gladiators continue to win the support of the electorate, the expectation of average Nigerians, according to political analysts, is good governance irrespective of the party that emerges victorious at the polls.
A political group named Ibadan Patriotic Organization in Oyo State have pledged their support for a former governor of Oyo State and Labour Party governorship candidate Adebayo Alo-Akala. The group says their support for him is based on his past performance and offers as governor of the state. Omotayo Alo has more in this report.
In the lead to the fast approaching general elections, the political arena has witnessed more activities, and the eager electorate still bear the responsibility of deciding which candidate or party deserves their vote, adding their nods to that of previous supporters of an Adebayo Alo-Akala-led administration. Members of Ibadan Patriotic Organization say their endorsement of the candidate is not influenced by any economic gain, but the interest of the state and its future.
Today's endorsement of Otuba Alo-Akala has not to do with any pecuniary gain nor influence, but by sentiment of favoritism, but purely on facts and figures before us, which override any other interest whatsoever.
We saw the achievements, past achievements, when they are in governor last time. So that is why we use our club to endorse them.
Responding to the group's endorsement, the Director General Alo-Akala Campaign Organization, Kola Balogun, says the current experience of the people of Oyo State saddens his heart, ascribing it to poor governance and unequal distribution of wealth in the states.
Akala style of governance was given contract to local contractors, and they would go to Bagi, to election lawyer, to spend their profit in the market. So there was money in circulation. He was paying workers' salaries that went due. Workers will also go to the market and spend that money. So there was no capital flight. There's capital flight now. Most of the contractors are Lagos contractors, and they're sponsored by money. And of course, we can also have some Lebanese contractors who are also the kings and kings of money.
To back up his endorsement, the Labour Party governorship candidate has not ceased conversing for the vote of Oyo residents to decide what his fate and that of all the governorship candidates will be after the poll. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Less than a month to the presidential election, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has challenged PDP governors to concentrate on how to win their different states instead of their continuous visit to Lagos State. Fashola made the statement at the commissioning of a housing estate in Abijo-Ibeju-Lekki area of the state. Abiola Luwole has more on the story presented from our studios. We'll sort out our report and bring it to you in our subsequent bulletin. Following a recent protest by carriers of the sickle cell strain in Benin City recently, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party has assured them of the support of his party. State chairman of the party, Dan Obia, gave this assurance while making a donation to the group. He, however, urged them to vote for the PDP in the coming general elections. Our correspondent has more in this report.
following an earlier protest by carriers of the sickle cell strain in Benin City over what they described as the takeover of the only treatment by some officials of the state government and the continued neglect they suffer daily. The group and their relatives have taken again to the street, but the whole protest seems to have taken on a political dimension to it, with the intervention of the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party through its state executive led by Dan Obi. Speaking to the protesters, Obi urges them to free themselves of the threat posed by the state government to their continued existence.
Citizens of our state to champion the cause of supporting your association and all those who are presently suffering from sickle cell disease. What I've just given to you is just a token to assist those who are in dire need of medication, who are currently going through crisis. I promise to do more by appealing to my friends and fellow party leaders to join me in supporting you.
Some of the protesters, however, called for the sack of the State Commissioner for Health.
The problem we have on ground now is it that we don't have a state government in this state again. Is there no mechanism of force in the government any longer? That people of this side will be suffering from alarming pains in the highest gravity. The pain a sickle cell sufferer receives is inexplicable.
With the new dimension the protest has taken, the reaction of the state government will go a long way in determining what happens next in this ongoing saga.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says 81.22% of registered voters have picked their permanent voter cards across the country as of Thursday, March 12. Latest figures released by the INEC spokesman Kadi Dowu in Abuja showed that 55,904,272 eligible voters have collected their PVCs. A close look at the statistics indicates that Zamfara State has recorded a 95.97% rate of PVC collection, followed by Jigawa with 95.91% and Gombe with 95.50%. The figure from Lagos State shows that 64.71% of voters have collected their cards, while the FCT has 64.56%. There is, however, marginal improvement in PVC collection in Ogun State, which is now close to the 50% mark with 49.45%. It's CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back after this break to give you details on the early morning fire at the Mouth Market in Lagos. Do stay with us.
Daily dose of Scott's Emotion, which combines omega-3, calcium, vitamins A and D, supports the healthy development of your child's brain and body. Scott's Emotion promotes active minds and strong immunity in growing children. New Scott's orange flavor multivitamin emotion.
Welcome back. It's CoreTV Prime Time News. Now we'll remind of our top stories. President Goodluck Jonathan denies speaking with King Mohammed VI of Morocco as diplomatic row with North African Kingdom rages. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says the collection rate of the permanent voter cards has risen to 81.22% nationwide. Fire at Mouth Market in Lagos claims 3 lives. Don't forget that you can always catch us on our social media platforms on Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And YouTube, it's youtube.com/CoreTV News. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has debunked claims by the All Progressives Congress that the presidency has rendered it powerless. It also denied that it is owing its operatives a 3-month backlog of wages. EFCC spokesman Wilson Owujarin said at the news conference that there is no truth in claims that it had not secured high-profile convictions under the Jonathan administration. Marcelo Kafo has more in this report presented from our studios.
This media briefing, according to the EFCC spokesman, was to set the record straight. The agency saddled with fighting financial crimes was hit hard by the APC, which leveled allegations ranging from non-performance to non-payment of staff salaries. The party's presidential campaign spokesman Garba Shehu had accused EFCC of not recording any high-profile conviction under the present administration.
If EFCC was set up on the basis of a law formulated by the National Assembly, signed by the President of Nigeria, if only it would be allowed to operate without interference in accordance with the law, that would satisfy everyone. Now, the President's option is to do nothing about corruption. What is the alternative? He has no alternative to corruption being fought using the courts of law. The courts, he hasn't allowed it to function. The FCC is not working.
But the Commission is not prepared to be silent on issues raised by the APC campaign spokesman. It accused Shehu of nursing a grudge against the EFCC, as well as attempting to drag it into politics.
The reason why I'm making this briefing is to tell you that whatever he has said is a lie. And I think I've done that. Inviting Shehu is not on card now because we don't want to be dragged into politics, and that is the reason why I'm making this briefing. What he has done is to pitch the commission against the government, and it's a disservice to all Nigerians.
The anti-graft agency argued that its chairman, Ibrahim Lamurde, is a man of integrity without any dent on his reputation. The session also provided an opportunity for the EFCC to set the record straight on the war against graft.
EFCC in 2013 recorded 117 convictions. That went up in 2014 to 126 convictions. And any of you who are familiar with the processes in court knows what it takes for you to get a conviction, even in a 419 case. Cases can drag for years in the court. So regardless of the profile of the individual involved, you look at what does it take to achieve conviction. How many law enforcement agencies in Nigeria can boast of that record? And in law enforcement, you don't talk about low and high crime. Anybody that has violated the law is subject to the law.
The Commission also reaffirmed its earlier warning to politicians not to drag it into politics ahead of the 2015 general elections.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has raised the alarm over the circulation of a fake letter purportedly from the Office of Chief of Staff to the President to the Commission to prosecute some leading political figures. The Commission, in a press release issued in Abuja by its spokesman Wilson Owujarin, says the purpose of the letter is to mislead Nigerians. The Commission enjoins all Nigerians to dismiss the fake letter and also showed what it described as the original letterhead of the Office of the Chief of Staff to the President, Jones Arugbofa. And in some Lagos markets, this time it is at the vegetable oil shops of the Mile 12 market, which left no fewer than 3 people dead. Shop goods and property worth millions of naira burned to ashes. Emmanuel Ajayi completes this report.
Owners of shops affected by the fire could not hold back their tears. This shop owner and some eyewitnesses say the inferno is as a result of activities of oil bunkers within the market.
According to what we heard, they said that those people that is bringing down black markets, that is petrol, that they was offloading their fuel. So that 2 guys was dragging keg. So before then, they say some people were cooking beside there. I don't know where the fire started. So it was within the other side, but Before they know what happened, the fire already got into a drum with fuel. That one has to. My shop was affected. Yeah.
We were told some people lost their lives, about 3 people. But 2 has been taken away. While I think the 3rd one was taken away by the last time also.
Cooking beside the gas and beside the fuel. You know, some charcoal we now burst. So after the charcoal now burst, that is what extended this fire burning this morning.
How many people do you think died?
On my own, I witnessed 9, which I witnessed with my eye. 9.
For his part, the chairman of Arewa Association in Lagos, Dandama Mayaba, and the market leader of Ikosi Shere Local Council Development Area, Iyabo Ahmed, say the inferno is unfortunate, though the cause is yet to be determined.
I did in the morning. I hear fire catch your garage. That time, NEPA didn't bring light like this. No pass 1 minute here that it does start.
That place they are selling oil, groundnut oil, vegetable oil, and palm wine oil. So it's the portion of that place. This thing starts. Immediately we call the fire brigade. When they come first time, our people, you know, everywhere they are doing this thing. Then we drive them, say you are too this, maybe they don't have water. So then drive the people. Before we go and drive that people, let the fire brigade enter.
The victims, however, call on state government to come to their aid and save the businesses of those affected. Emmanuel Ajayi, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has maintained government is on the trail of the perpetrators of the recent armed robbery incident that led to the killing of 3 policemen and a woman in the Lekki area of the state. Fashola disclosed this while responding to questions from journalists during his visit to victims of a rainstorm that blew off the roofs of some buildings in Agege local government area.
Yesterday, we sadly had a robbery attack in Lekki. We lost 3 police officers and a citizen. For us, that is an unusual experience. I can assure residents that they should stay calm. We are already on the heels of those who attacked us. We will find them and we will bring them to justice.
For a prompt response during the rainstorm incidents, Fashola also appealed to residents to desist from the habit of dumping refuse in the drains to avoid flooding in the rainy season. The police authorities have arrested a gang which specializes in terrorizing communities in the suburbs of the Federal Capital Territory. Also in police net is a female tailor who has in recent times been posing as a mobile police officer. FCT Police Commissioner Wilson Inalegu paraded the suspect at a news conference in Abuja. Pius Samuel reports.
These are suspected criminals. They are members of different gangs which the police in the FCT have just busted as part of a sustained bid to rid the capital city of criminals. These ones were caught terrorizing local communities. FCT Police Commissioner gave an insight into their operations.
Dala, who is also the leader of the gang that also go around to intimidate people, to demand with menaces, was again apprehended, dropping back that the Fulanis who wreck cattle should go and drop money. We again picked him. And all these 3 individuals have made useful statements that is helping us in our investigation.
The police also reeled out some of the items recovered from the suspects.
Our preparation to deliver effective and efficient security for upcoming election is on course. Below is the summary of the breakthrough recorded by the command in the first few weeks. Item number: recovered vehicles, 12 in number. Recovered arms and ammunition, 6. Recovered ammunition, 11. Recovered cows, 201. Suspect arrested, 25. Cash recovered, 350,000 naira. Roofing tiles recovered, 4,860 meters. Machete recovered, 4. Total number of cases recorded within the period under review, 10.
Then, It was time to parade the suspect. First, it was a woman who had been posing as a mobile police officer, but she is actually a tailor with a dream of joining the police. She has since defrauded some unsuspecting members of the public to the tune of over 300,000 naira.
I saw the cloth for her, so he paid me for one, he leave one. Okay. Because of the 3,005 balance which they give me, if I call the number, he refuse to come. So, and the uniform don't take for my hand. And from there, and it's the person, that person, he tell me that he's going to put me for tailoring work for police. Collected 50,000 naira from my hand. As he go, and me, I like to enter the work. I like him. Now from there, I carry the uniform, come put my name there by myself.
570,000.
How she take collect?
She collects, he says, won't help me collect loan. And I'll go my sister place and borrow the money and give her. Says she won't collect 3 million for us. So we share it. Says she won't share out of the money. So that's why I go raise her 570,000 and give her. And out of the money now, 20,000, I'm paying interest, 3,600 naira every month. Out of the money now.
Now this loan, what was she supposed to, which microfinance bank?
It's a cooperative, police cooperative. They are giving loan.
These are a different set of suspects. The police say they are car snatchers. They also admitted committing the crime.
I was in prison 1 year, 8 months.
For what crime?
For cartel.
And then you were released when?
I released this February.
I'm a painter, by nature I'm a painter. So there is man I paint. So, you know, the painting job, I paint, but he not paying my money. I've been working for him for a long time. So, from there now, I have no money on me. So, that's why I brought this gun from police.
I needed money to pay my bills that I can't afford to pay. So, that is why I was led into this act.
You couldn't do any job for you to be paid.
Actually, I used to work. I do fumigate.
And then
I do fumigate.
Why didn't you go into any other type of job?
Oh, I can't really say because I'm already fond of this now, and I'm caught for the act.
Now the FCT Police Command says the force is ready to clear the capital city of criminals before the general elections. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Really sad. In keeping with its objectives of curbing the supply and demand for illicit drugs and other consumable harmful substances, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has destroyed over 3,000 kilograms of drugs, while more than 300 cases are still in court, with 88 convictions secured against drug dealers in the Plateau State. Our correspondent in that area has more in this report.
The Plateau State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency says it is doing its best to reduce to the barest minimum the supply and demand routes of illicit drugs in the state. The state commander of the agency, Ngozi Madubueke, while speaking to a team of journalists in Jos, said several arrests have been made within the last 2 years, while more than 80 convictions have been secured against drug barons in the state. She said the major drugs consumed, among others, include cocaine and cannabis.
The agency is charged with 2 core functions, and that is to reduce the supply of drugs and also to reduce the demand for drugs. Under the supply for drugs, we've made so many arrests and seizures. But like what is being destroyed today, consisting of various drugs, is a total of 3,888 kilograms, consisting of 3,773.247 kilograms of cannabis, 114.753 kilograms of psychotropic substances, and 121.5 grams of cocaine.
While appealing to the state residents to assist in giving vital information to his men on the activities of the drug dealers in their domain, Madubueke called on the drug baron to have a rethink on their illicit trade and stop, because once they are apprehended, they will face the full wrath of the law.
For this reason, I am calling on dealers to stop, because if they are arrested, we will ensure that the law takes its course. They will be taken, prosecuted, and convicted. And there is no two way about it. So for their own good, we're advising them to stop. If not for anything, for the fact that they know that what they are selling or what they are dealing in is highly destructive. They should look around and see the youths of the state destroyed. Many youths who are supposed to contribute positively to the development of the state are ruined.
Observers have, however, been talking about what the full route of the law should be, especially against the backdrop of recent comments of Plateau State Governor Jonah Jang calling for the capital punishment to be applied for drug offenders.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and be back with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with CoreTV News.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on DJ360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. Now to business. In order to ensure transparency in implementation and execution of the Central Bank of Nigeria's Nigeria Electricity Market Stabilization Facility, CBN NEMSF, the banking sector regulator has unveiled the terms and conditions for the facility. The 213 billion naira facility, which was recently approved for the power investors, according to the CBN, has a tenure of 10 years, adding that there shall be a moratorium period of 12 months on the principle. The central bank, in a 20-page document posted on its website, explained the mode of funding the facility, saying it subscribed to a note issued by the refinancer in the total sum of the facility amount. Furthermore, it stated that the refinancer shall refinance the facility by repaying the lenders in proportion to each lender's commitment in accordance to the distribution company disbursement refinancing agreement and the amended disbursement agreement. It says the facility will attract an all-inclusive charge of 10% per annum on the outstanding balance and payable monthly in accordance with the transaction document it ordered. An official said on Friday Gombe State has raised 5 billion naira by selling a 7-year bond with a 16% yield to help fund its new roads and schools. The bond, which was issued with a maturity date of 2022, is the first transaction of a 10 billion naira debt assurance program. The official, who is an advisor to the issue, said in a notice a total of 3 applications for 5 million units of 1,000 naira each was received from investors. This is the second time the state has issued bonds since 2012. In 2012, a 20 billion naira 7-year bond maturing in 2019 with a yield of 15.5% was issued. And now let's join Frank Omalape for Stock Market Report. Over to you now, Frank.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Hello there, welcome to Stock Market Report. I am Frank Omalape. Equity transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today as a result of profit taking. The all-share index depreciated by 0.82% against previous gain to close at 30,719.36 basis points. The market capitalization decreased in the same manner to close at 10.2 trillion naira. In all, a total of 1.7 billion units of shares valued at 6.1 billion naira were exchanged in over 4,000 deals. 7 up top, the gainers chart to close at 154 naira with 1 naira price difference, followed by Unilever, Champion Brew, Ikeja Hotel and Honeywell Flomio. On the flip side, Lafarge Africa topped the losers chart, followed by Cap PLC, Beta Glass, Nigerian Views, and Dangote Cement. Meanwhile, Unity Bank top higher traders, followed by Wapik Insurance, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, UACN, and Transcorp. And to wrap up the stock market report today, here is the currency trade.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Thank you so much, Franco Malape. There you have it, stock market report for today. Now let's join Emmanuel Ezekiel for Sport Stories.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Usain Bolt storming, no, he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead and really
Welcome to the exciting world of sports. Vincent Iyama has expressed his ecstasy at plans by the Nigeria Football Federation to honor him on the occasion of his 100th senior cap for Nigeria. The Super Eagles goalkeeper and skipper, presently at 99 caps, will notch his century when Nigeria takes on Bolivia in an international friendly at the Akwa Ibom Stadium on Thursday, March the 26th. Of his 99 caps so far, the three-time FIFA World Cup star picks the Nigeria-Argentina FIFA World Cup match at the Ellis Park Stadium, Johannesburg, on June the 12th, 2010, as his best so far. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Football Federation on Thursday reaffirmed that the senior national team, Super Eagles, will play the senior national team of Bolivia in an international friendly match in Uyo on Thursday, March the 26th. The Nigeria Premier League this weekend will feature a number of action-packed matches, which include 3SC of Ibadan taking on Heartland of Owerri, as well as Kano Pillars against Bayelsa United, all slated for Saturday. However, on Sunday, a pack of 5 matches, which include Nasarawa United versus Wike Tourists, Aqua United versus FC Charaba, Sunshine Star taking on Gabros FC, Kwara United versus El Kanemi Warriors, and Rangers versus Sharks will all take place. Now to the English Premier League. The English Premier League, which is in its 29th week, will feature matches such as Crystal Palace taking on Rangers on Saturday. Other matches include West Bromwich Albion versus Stoke City, Sunderland versus Aston Villa, Leicester City versus Hull City, Arsenal taking on West Ham United, and Burnley versus league contenders Manchester City, all slated for Saturday. And that's it on sports. Back to you, Gift.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Thank you for staying on with us. Now outside Nigeria, major world powers have begun talks about a United Nations Security Council resolution to lift UN sanctions on Iran if a nuclear agreement is struck with Tehran, a step that could make it harder for the U.S. Congress to undo a deal, according to Western officials. The talks between Britain, China, France, Russia and the United States, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, plus Germany and Iran, are taking place ahead of difficult negotiations that resume next week over constricting Iran's nuclear ability. Some 8 UN resolutions, 4 of them imposing sanctions, ban Iran from Ukraine enrichment and other sensitive atomic powers. Iran sees the removal as crucial as UN measures are a legal basis for more stringent US and European Union measures to be enforced. The US and EU often cite violation of the UN ban on enrichment and other sensitive nuclear works as justification for imposing additional penalties on Iran. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry told Congress on Wednesday that an Iran nuclear deal would not be legally binding, meaning future U.S. presidents could decide not to implement it, a point emphasized in an open letter by 47 Republican senators sent on Monday to Iran's leaders, asserting any deal could be discarded once President Barack Obama leaves office in January 2017. And that wraps our news for tonight. But before we go, a recap of our major headlines. President Goodluck Jonathan denies speaking with King Mohammed VI of Morocco as diplomatic row with Northern African Kingdom raiders. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says the collection rate of the permanent voter cards has risen to 81.22% nationwide. And that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for staying on with us. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Gift Ogeta, wishing you a lovely good night rest. Good night.